Hey everyone, it's Matt Donahue with Mission Financial Planners. Today is Tuesday, September 24th. This is your weekly update for the week ending on Friday, September 20th. What a week in the markets. The Fed surprised everybody with a 50 basis point rate cut. The markets had really priced in a 25 point rate cut into their projections. So the market took a day to kind of process the unexpected information, and then the markets just took off. Go to our blog post. You can see all the details on how well all the different indices did. But everyone, like I said, was expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. What we got was 50. The thing that also happened last week that I think flew under the radar for a lot of people is the fact that the yield curve is no longer inverted. And an inverted yield curve is important to know about because it usually signals that a recession is coming. Well, the yield curve's been inverted for about 2 years now, and last week it finally went back into a normal non-inverted position, which basically means your 10-year treasuries are paying a higher yield than the 2-year treasuries are. So when you think about the yield curve, what you want is, longer term stuff should pay more in terms of interest, in terms of yield. Well, we're finally back into that environment. So that's removed a huge recession warning indicator from economists, tea leaves, right, that they like to try to predict things with. So markets had a great week last week. Some of the big indicators out there, like the yield curve, went back into a good position. We're in a good spot right now. Hopefully that'll last for a while. Our philosophy quote of the week really comes down to practice the good stuff. It's a kind of a lengthy quote, so it's in our blog post. Check it out. But it really comes down to practice the good habits, and the more you practice them, the more frequently you practice them, the more consistently you practice them, the better you get at them, and eventually it just becomes muscle memory and you're able to do it without even thinking about it. So keep that in mind whenever you're, trying to figure out, hey, how do I really get better at something? Well, sometimes all it takes is 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be this massive ordeal. So keep that in mind, right? That's something that just, incrementally get better at things, and eventually it just becomes easy, or it becomes normal, or it becomes routine for you. And that's what you want. That's what you want with the good stuff. Tax tip of the week really comes down to financial planning. So from a financial planning standpoint, what you really want to make sure is you have a plan that is designed to take um, what you want to have happen and systematically make it occur over time. So it kind of ties back to our philosophy quote of the week. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a retirement savings plan at work, contribute to it. Figure out a way to start contributing to it if you haven't. What kind of insurance do you have? Do you have insurance that can at least pay off your debts so your family can stay in your home if something happens to you? What kind of estate plan have you put in place? Do you have a will, a trust, and a medical directive? Who does your taxes? Are you doing them yourselves? Are you really that confident you know the tax code well enough to be able to take full advantage of the rules as they exist? Maybe, maybe not. So a good financial plan doesn't just look at all that stuff in terms of today. Maybe you're working right now, but it also takes into account what's going to happen after you retire. Because I can tell you from the tax code, at least, um, what is important when you're working is no longer important once you have stopped working. And if you want to know what I mean by that, just give me a call. I'm happy to spend some time with you to take you through what I mean by that statement. Life insurance, well, it is still Life Insurance Awareness Month. And from a life insurance standpoint, I'm going to talk about living benefits today. When you think about life insurance, you think about, hey, it's going to help my family if I die. And quite candidly, who likes to think about dying, right? Or their spouse dying, or God forbid, one of their kids passing away. Nobody likes to think about that. But what happens when you get sick? What happens when you get injured? Can that life insurance help you? Well, a lot of people don't know, but you can even get term insurance that can also provide disability income. It can provide a critical illness benefit if you get diagnosed with something like cancer or some serious illness. It can provide chronic illness benefits. So if you're in a long-term care situation where you need help with activities of daily living, it can help you there as well. And that's just term insurance. Permanent insurance can do all those things. It also has some huge tax benefits for you. The cash value that builds up in a permanent life insurance policy is one of the only vehicles out there that is still what's considered FIFO, first in, first out, which means you can pull your contributions out and then borrow the proceeds or the investment returns. So there's a lot to it, right? Make sure you give us a call. Ask us about the tax thing. Ask us about the financial planning thing. And on top of that, make sure you ask us about insurance as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. If you have any questions on anything I went through, as always, feel free to reach out. You can get a hold of me directly at 726-727-6581. You can call or text me there. One more time, 726-727-6581. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye-bye.